Hello everybody and welcome to Let's Play Sonic the Hedgehog. This is gonna be my first entry into the 16-bit summer for this year. I know I'm a little bit late on, from the beginning of it. It actually started on June 1st, but hey, better late than never, right? And I'm not that late anyway. It's only a couple weeks into June. I just have other projects going on. So let's go ahead and get out of this opening demo. Watch this awesome little Sega logo one more time. And let's start this bitch up. Now, what I'm probably going to do right here, right now, is play as much as I possibly can here in one sitting. Maybe even record the whole game. We'll see how it goes. That probably means this is going to be split into, I don't know how many videos. What I would like to do is just one stage, not stage, but, one act, or whatever you call it. Scene, I don't know what the hell they call these places. One level per video. We'll see how that goes. Anyway, so in honor of the 16-bit summer, here we go with Sonic the Hedgehog, one of my all-time favorites. At least one of my all-time favorites in terms of platforming games back on the Sega Genesis. It is one of the few platforming games I actually owned on the Sega Genesis. While there was tons of platforming games on the Sega, I only had Sonic and Kid Chameleon and a McDonald's game, which I also might be, you might get a chance to see some of that sooner or later. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. Anywho, this will be the first entry. I may or may not do other Sonic games. I'll probably will do Sonic 2, because Sonic 2 is actually the one I like more. I like Sonic 2 more than this one. But I figured if I was going to do anything, I was going to start with the first one. So what the hell. Anyway, so Sonic the Hedgehog is home to some of my favorite music in all of video games. After Mega Man, I have to say Sonic is probably second on the list of my favorite music. I mean, I love Mario games and Zelda games and all the music that goes along with those. But in terms of my favorite, personally, it goes Mega Man Sonic in terms of music. No way, and I would never put Sonic that high on the list in terms of best games ever, but it's definitely... Oh, shit, I already failed. Well, I didn't say I was going to get all the emeralds. This is just a fun playthrough. This is not a complete LP where you do 100% everything. But anyway, yeah, this definitely maybe if I had to pick favorite soundtracks, I'm pretty sure Mega Man 2 and Sonic 2 right there at the top, because goddamn, I could hum all the tunes from those games all day. Now, Sonic 1 also has fantastic music, as does Sonic 3, and pretty much most Sonic games. I mean, even in the new gen, they've kind of kept up with good music, even if the gameplay hasn't been great. The music has at least been up, it got that energy to it, got that high energy Sonic feel to it. You know what? I feel like I'm rushing through this a little too fast. I'm going to do a little bit more than I'm going to play the game like I usually play it. Instead of playing it like an LP where I'm just going through fast. I'm actually going to play for fun. We're just going to kick shamash and take some names. Anyway, anybody who's disappointed that I'm doing Sonic, which is a very over LP'd game, I could say, I'll just tell you go suck a nut, because honestly, I love Sonic, and I know it's been over LP'd. I'm not aware of this, but it's an honor of 16-bit summer, and I figured if I'm gonna honor it the way it needs to be honored, I'll play the games that I played in that era, and I didn't have a Super Nintendo, so playing a Super Nintendo game would kind of be against the celebration of that era, because it wouldn't be justifiable to the way I experienced that era. The few games I got to play in the 16-bit era from the Super Nintendo, I mean, I've already sort of LP'd. I mean, Super Mario World, and I haven't LP'd Mario Kart, but I played Super Mario Kart and Donkey Kong Country. Played that, the first one. I don't know, there's a few others, but I mean, those are the majority of what I even got to play, and I never got to play any of those, like, for very long periods of time. I only got to play in my friends' houses for short periods of time. So it sucked. Anyway, so to properly celebrate 16-bit summer, I am playing games that I actually played, like Sega Genesis games. And trust me, besides the all-time populars like Sonic, I have a few others I very much plan on doing. So if you're just worried that I'm going to be sticking to well-known games that are way overplayed, just know that newer, maybe not newer, but more obscure are coming from the Sega Genesis. So you might see some games you haven't seen played before. You've seen the name, you've seen maybe part of the game, so you know how it's played, but I'm going to play the whole games. I don't want to give away what they are quite yet, but I'll get to that when I get to that. Anywho, let's focus more on Sonic right now. Sonic the Hedgehog. Freaking awesome games. Tried to compete with Mario back in the Dizzy. A little late, seeing as how, you know, Mario 1 through 3 was already out in domination on the Nintendo, but, you know, Sega had to try and counter it somehow. You gotta have a face of the franchise. And who better than the blue hedgehog, you know? Oh yeah, bounce around, bitch. Who better than the blue hedgehog? Who can run really fast? I don't know if that makes any sense in the animal world, but you know what? It doesn't have to. It honestly doesn't have to. Sorry, I'm gonna get really into this music at some points because I really love some of these songs. Like, this is probably my favorite song from this whole game. While it is probably the most heard and most well known because it's the first freaking level, you know, first freaking world. I mean, it's to be expected to be the favorite of all. But I have a couple cool remixes to this song that I may or may not share. I'll have to think about it. It would be worth sharing. Nah, these videos aren't going to be long enough to really showcase a whole song, so I'm not gonna promise that. But yeah, besides this game housing some of my favorite music, I have a lot of remix music, video game remixes, i.e., what's it called? From OC Remix. I'm sure any big-time video game music fan knows what OC Remix is by now. It's been around long enough. I mean, shit, I've known about it since I was a freshman in high school, so it's been around a really long time. Okay, there we go. But yeah, OC Remix, if you never heard of it, they basically just do they take video game music and remix the shit out of it, and trust me, they've been doing it for a long time, and all that music is freely available on ocremix.org, so anybody who doesn't know what that is, after me telling it just now, go check that shit out. Especially if you love video game music. It's the tits. It's the tits. Anywho, there goes the first act, or stage, or what the hell do they call these? I'm not even paying attention. They call this past Act 3. Okay, well, they don't really have names. I finished the first stage, so that was cool. So now we're going to head to Stage 2.